You know this guy, the main character from Tekken, his haircut's been blown up all over social media, but 90% of barbers completely butcher it. They turn it into just another lazy taper blowout or a mid-part flow and call it a day. But I spent half a decade mastering shape, structure, and styling, charging $250 a haircut. So today, I'm gonna show you how to actually cut this the right way. First, we'll break down step by step the scissor work to create shape, then taper execution and the styling tricks that make or break this look. If you ever struggled or never even attempted to dare try this cut, today we're gonna fix that. A very key way to start this is always looking at the 3 pre-cut checks. The first thing is hair texture. Right now he has very thin Asian, very straight head. The next one is growth hair, the one crown at the back, and it's more towards the right of his head. The third pre-cut check is the visualization. How do I want this haircut to turn out? We want the back to be super flared out in a way that's like nice and structured, and then we want the front to be a nice flow.
JJ's Barber on TikTok, bro. Thought I'd give him a try, you know what I mean? 250 is something light to me.
You gotta get rid of this Justin Bieber.
Well, I mean, I like it.
What's your favorite song?
Because tonight's the night that I will cover you.
The first step is we're going to be sectioning the top after we sprayed some water in, and then I'm going to do this with a horseshoe section. So I'm going to look at his recession point right here, and then we just do a little mark, boom, point 1, and we look at his crown area. Remember how his crown has it on the right? We're just going to start with the crown right here and then do a horizontal. That's point number 2, right? Now we got point 1, point 2. Now we can kind of visually see where it's going to connect. It's going to connect that second point, drag it down, boom. Hold this point right here and then just section down. That will be my horseshoe section. Turn this up at my clip, boom. Nice tension. The first cutting step of this is going to be cutting the back. The reason why is because the back is going to be our end point. We're going to cut the middle part into the back because back is actually the centerpiece of the whole cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to grab a chunk of the back. Here, I'm going to direct it like outwards. This will determine like how far and how much bulk, right? If I go out here, it's going to be a lot of bulk and it's going to be very heavy. But if I go too short down here, it's not going to be any shade towards it. So I want to create a nice medium, and I'm going to go out, probably cut just about an inch, and I'm going to do point sections right there. Now that will be my guide for the back of how long I want the back. Now, because if you look at the photo, the middle is the longest and then it gets like shorter as it gets to the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a triangle. So see how like this is going to be like that. This point can really be up. You notice that point in the photos? That's what we're going to create. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a diagonal section like this, and I already got my guide that was right there. See, I cut that right there. So now I'm going to use that as my guide. And I'm going to continue that all the way down. And as I get down, I'm going to cut more because I want to taper the bottom. And then going to continue that all the way to the bottom. I want to get really close to the neck down here, because down here it's just going to be bottom anyways, right? And I'm going to continue that to another diagonal section. And the reason why we do diagonal sections like this is because the hair is flowing back. So we always wanted to section where the hair is flowing. So for example, if it's a crop, we're going to be doing vertical sections this way because the hair is flowing forward. That there is my guide. I'm going to cut that. Essentially now I've created this weight line. See that line right there? And this is the longest point because this is going to flare up like this. I'm going to come out, and as you can see, this part is longest, and then as I get up, it gets shorter. Now that I've got the back, I'm going to connect the sides into the back. So if you see now, you can kind of see where the shape is. See that? See how it's kind of flaring out, and this is the longest point. Now we're going to come over here and connect that into here. So how we're going to do this, we're going to come and create this first section right here, and I'm going to go shorter here, and it gets longer as it reaches the back, right? We're going to go there and then just like angle it out a little bit, boom. Right, now there we have one point, a second point, and now I'm going to just get rid of all this bulk. See how this is super long? I'm going to continue that line that we had all the way to the back. And then now, this is the transitioning now, right? It's transitioning into the back, and now see that? Boom. Now if I just pull this out, you'll be able to see That's my guide for the scissor work. You see, everything always have guides. There's a scissor work guide and also a fading guide. Just like how you have guidelines, right? We still have guidelines with scissor work. Right now, we're not really worrying about the bottom because that's gonna come in with clipper work. We're worrying about the structure, the base of the haircut. And that's where it allows us, when we fade, it fade into the shoe work. Now we can move on into taking away all this bulk that we don't need. And when we're doing clipper work, we're not gonna go above that guideline that we created. And at the end, we're gonna do the scissor work to really make everything fall into place, into that final product. We're going to first blow dry this into the shape that we want and basically create that flow before we do the clipper, because the clipper might take a lot off and we don't want to take much off. We want to keep that hair and keep that structure. So what we're going to do is you just add a tiny bit of low shine, a little bit of hold, wax, clay, whatever you have, and just put it in. The amount where it won't disrupt the clipper work, but it won't be hard for us when we're going with the clippers. This is literally just for hold for us to see the shape. Grab my comb, my attachment, blow dryer, maybe like low heat. Blow it all the way back, the front, right, to create that like flow. And then I'm going to elevate the top. Make it really aggressive because his hair naturally wants to fall down. So we gotta be really pushy, right? Because his hair grain doesn't like us to do that. So you gotta like go a dense gap and blow it up. This is literally just gonna help us keep the shape and like not cut too much off, you know what I mean? Because it's very easy with the clippers to cut too much off, and we want to be mindful of that. You guys kind of see the shape that we're going for now? The fade technique that we're going to use for this specific haircut is called the down fading method. And it's because we're going from longer to shorter, because we've already created our long bits. Now we want to go longer to shorter, and we're going to start that with the 3 guard. Come in, open it, and it'll be 3.5. I'm going to put his ear down, and I'm only going to cut into that lake that I already had. And we're going for like a low taper. That's all I need. Close it, just to bebop and clean it up. And then now the back. I'm going to come in and just take a little. And see how the weight I created here? I don't want to go higher than that because I already created that super nice shape. I don't want to ruin that. I'm only going to just cut like there. Bang. And right into that. I don't want to stop right here. There you go. Just like that. And I'm doing like a really low taper, right? Boom. Close it. And then now I can kind of like scoop up and start blending into that. I'm not even like going straight into the skin, right? Pushing down. I'm just hovering to correct shape now. And that's the thing about starting like either your haircuts with clipper or scissor. You start with scissors because you are more focused on the shape and the texture and the basic overall the top of the haircut. You start with clippers when it's more a fade centric. So you would use clippers starting with your cut when it's like a buzz cut, a crew cut, a comb over. But then when it's like very advanced cutting like this, where you got like a nice flow middle part, it's more scissor work centric. So you would start with the scissors. That's how to know the difference between either starting clippers or scissor. With that previous step, we created the canvas. Scissor was on top, base on the canvas. Now I'm going to do the lineup, right? That will enable me to see how high I can go on my taper. And I'm going to start off with the C cup. Point number 1, point number 2, 2 points, connect them together, and that's the easiest way. Just like that, we can kind of see where it's at. I'm going to pull this down and line up the ear area. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just line up the neck lines very gently here. Very gently, because the neck area is a very sensitive area. I might even swap to my soft trimmer because I don't want to risk in cutting discomfort. Or just in case, like, I don't want to irritate my client. Right? We want the client to have the best experience as possible and not walk away with battle scars. It's still looking class. Even though that line's not clean, it doesn't need to be clean because the objective isn't for us to finalize it. Is to see the structure. Just like that, we can see everything so much better now. I know that, damn, I should actually make this a lot lower, because if I started it without the liner, it would be very easy for me to take it a lot higher than I would have. I simply just don't have clarity. Now we're gonna get into fading it for real. We're fading down, so I'm gonna go with the 2 guard. Open, always open first, and then we can always close it, right? Because our last guard was a 3. And since we're down fading, Down fading essentially, instead of going from 1 guard there, 2 guard there, 3 guard, right, we're going the opposite way. We're going 3, 2, 1, 1.5. You're simply taking out that line after. The reason why is because it gives us more control, right? And now I'm going to close it, going lower. And then my next step, going to a 1 guard, slap it on, open. You're just going under what I did. Very gently, just blend everything in, right? Gently, because right now, the reason why I chose this fading technique is because down fading is amazing for thinner hair, right? See, as you can see now, we kind of see that blend coming in along. I'm going to close it now and then go even lower. See how like soft this fade is? Very soft fade. We don't want the fade to be super crazy because this highlight of this cut is going to be the shear, right? It's going to be the styling of it. I'm going to come in no guard, open it, and just go under that one that I did. Right, and I'm always flicking out, go really low. And instead of thinking about like, oh, where should I place the guideline? Think about how good does the fade look? How like should I take it a bit higher? You know, like with down fading, you're unable to really like control where you even want the guideline. You don't have to start and set it in a set in stone guideline straight away. You can just come in and like decide the guideline and decide how you want it, based on just look and feel. And as you can see, I don't have a guideline in there. I'm just like going based on what looks good for him. Is that normally barbers, they come in, they do fading, they put a harsh guideline in, they fade up, right? But this is more like control. This is like when you get into like really perfecting what it means to like be the controller of the output of your haircut. Now the final step is going to be closing this and coming in and just taking any of that remnants of, you can see that quantified away, right? And just like that, like it's a very soft blend. And we're not trying to make this perfect because we're gonna come later with the detent. We got the side, now we're going to do the back. And we're gonna do the same process, 2 guard, slap it on, open. I'm going through the same step. I wanna show you my workflow, right? When I'm teaching, I have to slow it down for you guys, but my actual workflow is actually very efficient. Close it now, come in, 1 pass, 2nd pass, then switch 1 guard, open, go just below that. So this is my 1st pass, then 2nd pass. After I've gone through my 2nd pass, I'm going to close it out, bang. Go under what I did. You'll be able to just like fly through these steps because down fading is very forgiving. Meaning that like, it's very, like it takes less hair coming off. So you can make more mistakes. Whereas fading up, going like 1, then 2, then 3, it's very like unforgiving. So now that I did that like 1 guard, I'm gonna go even lower now, coming with the half guard, slap it on, open, and go under what I did, right? Just in like less than 20 seconds, I've already like through my process. Gonna close it now and taking off the very last, right? Because look, if I was to start this fade with center the guideline, it's very likely that I'll probably start higher than I think I should. So down fade gives you so much control. See that? Like I did that in under 2 minutes and that saves me time so that I can make it perfect at the end. When you have systems towards haircutting, you're not only able to make things more efficient, but you make your haircuts better and the quality better because you know where to focus your energy on. Just like how in business, you focus on the right things will yield you more better return, right? Same thing with haircuts. You don't want to focus 30 minutes going through the steps. You want to focus that 20 minutes going through detailing and maybe 10 minutes just going through your fading process. So now that we did the back, we're going to now do the top into the back. The front is going to be a lot longer and it's going to go from long to really short. So let's whip the hair and like for right now, like does the front for you, like, is it too long or is it pretty good?
Tiny short.
Tiny, yeah. But you don't want to cut too much off here.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yep, it's very important that we consult with our client because like we want to make sure that we're on the same page. The better and the more connection that we have with the client in terms of the vision that we have, the closer we can get towards both satisfaction. So we're going to separate the front away from the back, and because we want to preserve all that length. So we're going to go from his recession all the way to the middle like a triangle. Get that under the recession. So we got 1 point and our 2nd point, we're connected to that. Then we could connect that. I'm gonna grab this right here. See how it's like a triangle? This section is all the front. Everything from here now is the back. So we're going to do the back because we're going to connect that into this. And then I'm going to twist. Bang. Then if we need another one, just do it on the other side to secure that thing. So now we're going to connect that back that we did into this, because right now this is like too long. I'm going to comb everything back. And now I'm going to basically connect this top area to that back. Down, grab this and connect that through the back. Then now I'm going to connect, this is the hair up top, I'm going to connect that into what we did over here. Bang, going to come in there, about like centimeter off. And then now when it gets towards the back, connect that into there, right? Bang. And then with the front, I'm going to slowly make it, like I'm angling it out because I want to keep the front like longer. See how I'm moving my hand? Because I want to keep this. Now that we have the perimeter, like we cut around the sides, now we're going to cut the top. So I'm going to do a vertical section, like a profile section in the middle. So that section right here, see this thing? Boom, grab that. Now, this is where I determine how much I want to cut off. Probably like an inch. So gonna point cut, make sure that's connecting into the back. And that right there, that profile section is gonna be my guide, right? So since now I have this, I'm gonna finish everything off, do a vertical section, and then make sure that everything is at that point. See how these hairs right here, see that hair? That's my guide. Other hairs, these hairs that you see that just flinked up, that's the excess. Everything has guides, guys. Everything has a guide. You always create the first guide, so then you don't get lost. All right, grab that. Where's my guide? Okay, there. Now I know how much to cut off. Right, it's super easy because when you create that guide, you create it once and you don't have to think again, right? Whereas those barbers, they just like chop it, not realizing that they're cutting more off, or they have no idea. They don't have any control. That's what separates the good barbers and the great barbers. Now I'm going to do the front, and we're going to take the front bit and make sure that everything is even. Because right now, see, that side is shorter. This side is longer, and we just want to make sure both sides are on the same page. Looks like this is the length of the other side. So now we have a guide. Now sectioning it right in the middle so we can start one side, and we know that by just looking at his nose. Boom. So right here, this is where the magic starts. Okay, this is where I'm going to start creating a little bit of shade there. So here, right now, see how this side is shorter, and we're going to trim this to match that right there. And then we want to do really harsh point cutting. Put them down, take that, and match it to that back now. Right, everything, we're always connecting. So you guys can start to see the vision now. The perimeter is layering, and obviously the top now is pretty heavy. Now we're going to do the top, so then we can make sure that it's not too heavy. So we're going to take a vertical section of this like that, pick that up, and then now connect that to what we hit. So see how right here, it's like short here, and then it gets longer. We want to keep that. We want to keep that gradual change. So I'm going to keep making it longer. Boom, see that? And it's not much, but these are the details that we need to perfect these cuts. Grab the next section and make sure everything is connected. That looks cool. If I just pull it down, we'll be able to see that it's right there. Okay. Just like that, I did one side, and you just want to repeat the same step to the other side. Just like that, you had a super nice. Final step is the feather razor, and we're just going to create an immense amount of texture into this, so then it can really look like harsh texture, so then it can be like really anime character. Thumb in and just like comb down his hair and just start breaking the bluntness that straight hair lies, and really taking that right there. So we don't want to take too much of this front because we kind of want that length. But over here, we want to go kind of crazy over here. And you see how right down here it has a little volt? What we're going to do is we're going to like come in and create that shape after. But right now we're focusing on creating texture, right? In front a little bit. Bang. Now I'm really blow drying this and putting everything together. And we're going to start with some pre-styler, which is our fiber, right? It's a strong hold with natural shine, and it's more of a natural look, but ensure that we have to have a little bit of strong hold for this. I'm going to put it in when it's wet, because when I blow dry it, it would actually like help me create that shape as I blow dry, because that blow drying will push it where I want it to go. Because if we do it when it's dry, it's very easy for the product just to be in one spot. Like people go like this. And then the gel is just like on one spot where it's applied. But when you put it into, when it has wetness into it and you put it before blow drying, it allows it to have an even spread because the water's in there, making it evenly spread. And that's the thing about product styling, is that like you need to have consistency of product throughout the whole hair, not just one spot where it's just the swoop, right? You gotta have it everywhere. And putting it in as a pre-styler before the blow dry will really, really help with that. And see how right here, the way that I'm putting it in, I'm not even trying to like style his hair. I'm literally just trying to put the product evenly, right? And then now that I'm ready for styling, I'm going to pull his hair where I want it to go. Got my blow dryer, straight nozzle, slap that on and blow up, right? And I want to need my foam to brush it where I want it to go. I want this up because I want that like up, and then it's gonna fall down anyway because his hair is like straight, it's stubborn. So we want to force the hair this way and blow this up over here. And now we're just creating that like nice peak over here whilst making this nappy flowy. And Betty, you also do want that split. So how to find a client's natural middle split is you comb it back and then you just push it a little bit forward. And just like that, you see that split right there? That split right there, you just pop, and that is his natural split. Sometimes it's super straight, sometimes it's wonky, but the wonk is because his natural growth pattern. So that's how to find his natural split and really make sure that you have a nice even spread. So then when each client goes home, he can achieve that as well, right? And when I'm styling, I always have a visual of what I want to achieve. And if I wanted to make it better or any different, this is like here, from this point onwards, it's like more back. And then the front is just fully down. Well, this one's all the way back. And this one is more of a less hair at the sides. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting some visual, like understanding of what product that I want to create at the end. Cool, so the back is going to be all back. So from his ear onwards, it's always going to be all back, right? So I'm blowing that all back and like making sure that this has elevation. This has like height towards it, right? And then now I'm going to blow the front back up. And then I want to create some wave in his hair, right? Because right now his hair is real straight. I want to create some waviness and some kinks in his hair. So what we're going to do is we're going to blow it up, right? Blow it up. And then because his hair is still straight, we want to elevate the S shape. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull the hair here and then blow it up. Because that will create that bend in his hair. Yeah? See how that creates that, like that kink in his hair, right? That kink will enable us to create some character. So I'm going to go up, blow it back, and then put my phone here, and then blow this up. See that? That would naturally create that bend boost there. Yeah, right there. We have like a nice bend, but now we need some volume. So we're going to blow it back. Blow up for some volume, then blow it like this for some character. Now that we have the rough canvas, right? This is just the rough of the styling process. Now we're just going to touch up the details a little bit by refining that shape, because the shape here, we still need to detail this and detail the fade. We have the overall shape, but now we want to like accentuate this more, create more of a curve. I'm going to come in now with scissor over comb, and that's going to allow me to, you know, take that bulk without disrupting the shape. Because if I use clip over comb will make it the shape really harsh, right? So I'm just going to soften up these areas and connect it into the top. Okay, gonna comb in and see how there's a little bit of bulk here. See that bulk? I'm gonna come in and just gradually scoop out even, you know, like a little scoop out motion as I get to the top to blend it in into that weight that we've created from our shoe work. And then now I want to accentuate this right here, accentuating this. I'm going to come in a lot harsher and really take that. The shorter I make this, the longer this looks. So I'm going to come in to make this curvature more dramatic, right? Because this is a very dramatic haircut. Really get that nice and curved, right? Just like that. We've created more of a softer look. Rather than using clip over comb right here, wouldn't be suitable because clip over comb is more taking bulk. Scissor over comb is going to refine it and make a softer look to connect rather than clipper over comb. I'm going to show you a simple tip that's going to make styling so much easier. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your blow dryer, you put it on roughly medium heat, then use your hairspray and blow it with it, right? Blow it up. And it's gonna create that shape whilst drying it at the same time and locking it in. See that? I'm creating that shape while blowing it up. Just like that, we've already created that shape. I can just control it however I like. I can just break that up. Boom. See that? Now, but the control is super sick. I'm going to grab it a little bit and scrunch it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hand and actually just spray my hands and create that shape that I want. All right, just like that, done. You can master every advanced technique and haircut styles like this, but if you don't know how to attract premium clients, you'll stay stuck at low prices. Here's the thing, cutting skill set alone won't get you fully booked or be charging $100 plus. You can be the best barber in your city, but if you don't know how to attract premium clients, build demand, or get a booked out schedule, you'll still stay stuck. So if you want to do exactly this and want to go beyond just cutting hair, I've got 2 videos just for you. Click the video here to watch my full breakdown on how to go viral and pull clients from TikTok and Instagram, or click right here to learn how to stay fully booked out year round and stop relying on walk-ins. Watch those next, level up. I'll see you in that video. And if you enjoyed this, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, show us some moves. Oi.